I can hear you
I
perfectly.
hit it. Okay.
I hear you clearly.
All right, great. Perfect. What's up, Chad? What's up, Jace? What's up, Raw?
Uh,
Raw, that was a great video you put out this morning. Really, really appreciate that.
mhm.
Of
What's
course.
your name? Where you from?
Yeah,
Let
I
people
heard you
know.
guys. Oh, this is Big Reaper calling
Mm-hmm.
from Jersey City.
All right, shout out to Big
And
Reaper.
so, yeah, I didn't catch most of the game yesterday, but I did see. I saw some of the game, and then I also saw the game where we lost against Phoenix. And I know we talked a little bit about RJ defense, especially last game. He's actually been struggling for a few games on defense. He's been getting cooked for a
Yeah.
while on the defensive end.
Agreed.
So he's been really good for
Hold on.
basically his rookie year. I thought he was pretty solid
Mm-hmm.
on defense, and this year most of this year he was pretty good. So I'm not sure what's happening there. So it's hopefully, it's just kind of like a little rut he's in, and maybe, he kind of like figures it out and starts playing better defense, or maybe wakes up a little bit. I did see the play, two backdoor plays. That was just, that was pretty hard to swallow. So I definitely understood, the coach like really leaning into him the way he did.
Yeah.
And yeah. So the other thing was heard you guys talking about Frank, and it's like my personal theory is, and it's probably a little too optimistic because I don't know, I always love, the guys we draft, like most both you guys obviously. I think most fans love the guys we draft. And so I just have a feeling that because the development has been really poor, and I feel like it's possible they see something with Frank and with Kevin Knox, and I don't think they just want to give them away just because of just even if it's like a fairly talented dude
Mm-hmm.
they had coming back. I think they just want to make sure they get it has to be essentially. I think the only way they trade Frank or Knox before the end of next season, if it's like for a piece that we really need, like maybe a really good point guard or something like that.
Exactly.
But aside from that, I really have a feeling that they feel like they need maybe they think they need an off season with both of those guys to just to see exactly what those guys have. So, what do you guys think about that?
I agree with that 100%. I think that's possible. See, we don't have to actually, there's only one of two ways based on what they have done or not done. They could have traded him at the deadline and didn't. So there's only one of two ways. Either they're going to continue to develop them or they're going to trade them. So it's one of two things. Frank is in a contract year. They got to make a decision. So
Right.
I like the idea of them keeping him. And I can't understand why a guy that's a coach that's defensive minded would want to trade a guy that guards multiple positions at a high level. So maybe he just needs an off season with Frank. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah,
I personally feel like
Jay.
I personally feel like I feel like Frank is gone. Just for that reason, Raw, because I feel like they're gonna try to keep a lot of these guys, and some guys are gonna want extensions and more money, and they're still gonna want to try to like bring in more talent and a wing. So I feel like the guys who are at the end of the bench, guys like Frank, who they have to make a decision on, I feel like he's gonna be gone. That's what my gut is saying. Um, Knox has a better chance of being here because he's still cheap and he have another year to be here.
And he's Kentucky.
Yeah, and he's a Kentucky guy. The Kentucky ties also helps. So my gut is saying Frank is gone. I would like him to stay.
Like Frank has survived so many.
Yeah.
He's got 9 lives. Frankie, 9 lives, man. So I don't know. Frankie Cat might still be here. I don't know. So I can see it either way. I really can. I can see them keeping him because he's not, is not in the rotation this year doesn't mean that Tibbs is like, get rid of him. I don't think so. Because they got rid of Dennis Smith Jr. for that reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Raw, I kind of agree with you on it because, either way, if he gets traded, I'm not going to get in bed and put the pillow over my head and cry. But but I have a feeling I just have a feeling I think they want to try to get an off season with him and try to convert him into a wing.
Mm-hmm.
How it works out. Because it's I don't think they've actually worked with him from that angle. They haven't. I don't think the previous coaches have really tried their best to see if he can if they can train him up as a wing. Honestly, to tell you the truth, his first couple of years prior to this year, I really thought he could be a decent point guard, but I don't know what happened this year. It's just I don't know if it was just because of we just had better talent on the team. but it was just watching the games with him at the point guard position. It was actually pretty rough to see, at point guard. So for a while, I always felt like he could be a pretty good point guard, but this year he really struggled at it.
Yeah.
And so I think definitely, I have a feeling they'll try to switch him as a wing. Then also, given the kind of like Coach Thibodeau is.
No, I can see that because
I don't know. Yeah.
I can see him being like Reggie Bullock.
Yep. I really don't see. I just have a feeling like the only player that they're going to bring on this team that's high usage is going to be a point guard. I just don't see them bringing like, any other high, big name 2s or 3s. I think the starters at the 3 position, I think people better be ready for Bullock to be the starter for a few years, like in my opinion, given Tibbs' track record and what he likes out in the wing. I just don't see another person who's a high usage player on the wing coming to this team. I think it's going to, if anything, you're going to get a point guard. But I think for the most part, I have a feeling this is basically it for the team, in my opinion. Maybe I'm just being like, pie in the sky and like, but what do you guys think?
I think all options are on the table. I think Bullock, I feel like even if Bullock is here, they're still going to look for an upgrade at the wing eventually. So like,
it really is a championship bench piece.
Right. So I do still feel like even it's I'm like in the maybe Malcolm or Beal or Zach or I don't know, somebody. I feel like or because even from the jump when Steve Stout was here and he was like, "Oh, do y'all want to get a star here?" And he was like, "Yeah," from the rip. He let it be known that was their intention. So I feel like they're going to swing for the fence. And even if we do end up signing Reggie Bullock, and shout out to Alex who even pointed this out, even if we do sign Reggie Bullock or bring a lot of these guys back, they still have value because they're on a Knicks team who's 4th place in the East right now, so we can still end up using them in the package later, even if we sign these guys.
Exactly, Alex, bring that. That was a good point
in the summer. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't happen right away, I feel like that's still going to be like the end goal.
So, like, let's say we get, you get a Bradley Beal, right? But you still need a point guard. Really see like possibly like let's say a Bradley Beal, Zach LaVine fitting on this team. Like, then what happens to like let's say RJ Barrett? So I guess does RJ Barrett at that point, just become like very low usage? Like number 3 option. I don't know. What do you guys think happens at that point?
You're not going to get both LaVine and Beal.
No. I mean, like either if it was LaVine or Beal.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
One or either one.
They play with RJ. They both play to win. They'll play with RJ. Either one of those guys.
It's just kind of hard for me to see because RJ is fairly high usage. Power forward.
RJ could play D. Yeah. He could pass the ball, so he doesn't need a certain amount of touches. He's a scorer. He's gonna get his points.
Yeah, I understand what he's saying, and I actually, Reaper, like I've thought about this before, and I think I actually mentioned it on the show a couple of times, because if RJ progresses the way we want to, the need for another a wing lessens, right?
Yep.
So at that point, I kind of think what happens is. You try to go for a 3-headed monster, and then when it's time to, you see how like RJ's being used to second unit now. I feel like that's kind of what happens at certain points. Like we'll have a 3-headed monster, and then like when the bench comes in, somebody from the starter is just running with the bench to get their touches, and then like depending on who's hot and cold, they'll finish. I feel like that's the way that it might end up shaking out if we end up getting like another high usage player.
Yeah, I mean
that's actually a very good point.
Yeah, I'm not really as worried about it. I mean, really, I'm not. If we get a guy that's a great wing like a Beal or a LaVine, whoever you could put Rose in, and you still got something. You can get a point guard later. I mean, I'm not as worried about it because Rose really helps us a lot at that spot. I really like Rose, and I think he's got another year at this level or 2 at this level of play. So if he can continue like that for a couple of years, I think we're in good shape. And then you still got IQ coming off the bench. I'm not as concerned about that. Like I said, if I could get Cade Cunningham, I'm going to do that. But other than that, I'm not worried as much about it.
But I do feel you. I do feel like Reggie Bullock is the guy to stay.
Yeah.
I feel like what would happen
yeah.
is if you bring back, if you get a high usage guy back, you would get you. I think the Knicks would try to keep Reggie.
No, yeah.
And then I feel like Burks would be the one they would try to move because
No,
then he
yeah.
would be redundant. You know what I'm
Reggie
saying?
stays. He's the defense. He stays.
Exactly.
Reggie stays. And he's not going to cost a lot. He probably won't cost more than $8 million a year. So yeah, Reggie stays. And you could always trade, like Alex said, you could always trade $8 million contract if we need to.
Right. Exactly.
So no, Reggie stays, man. He's going to be re-signed. He's going to be. I think, if possible, he'd like to retire, Nick.
Yeah, I think so too. And the way he's shooting right now, he's Detroit Reggie Bullock. You know, he's like I said. I don't know if he was here when I mentioned this, Royal, but he's been the number 3 3-point shooter in the league in April, behind Steph Curry and Bogdanovich.
Wow.
And that was the Phoenix game. I'm not sure where he stands right now. He was tied with who was he tied with for third? Damn, I forgot who was tied with for third.
He was 3 of 5 yesterday.
Yeah, he was 3 of 5 yesterday. So he stepped back. He's taken a step forward. The injury is healed, obviously, and this might be the real Reggie Bullock going forward if he's not injured. You know what I mean?
No, I agree with you, especially if he comes in with the shape that he came in this year. He's played very well since he come from that neck injury.
Exactly. Hopefully the injuries are behind him. You know?
We've seen him guard the toughest offensive players in the NBA this year. So
absolutely. Yo, shout out, good call, man. Good call as always, Reaper. Unless you got something else to say.
No, that's it. Thank you guys for hearing me out. You guys have a great night.
All right, you too, man.
Thanks for coming by, man.
Shout out to you.
Thanks.